Okay, hey everyone. Here's going to be the video on the first part of the 13.2, which is customary length. But this is going to be the odd numbers. This was from Monday, so if you didn't get that. On Monday, we were transferring miles to yards, and I'm just going to go ahead and do those formats for you and give you those answers because I know that Miss Davis went over with you on that one. This is 13.2, Monday. Oops, I keep moving that, but I need to move the camera. These are the odd numbers. So number one, we want to go from to how many yards. And then on my conversion reference sheet, I know that 1 mile is equal to 1,760. So I need to multiply. Remember our rule, that's either I'm going to multiply or divide. So multiply 1,760. This is 3 miles, so I have to multiply that one. And I'm just going to move this right over here. So 1,760 times 3. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 1 is 22. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 5. So this equals to 5,280. So that would be the answer for number 1. I'm going to go ahead and place that answer here. Let's go to number 3. I need to convert feet to yards, and this is 8 yards. So how many feet are in 8 yards? So I know that I have yards, my rule, and then I have feet. I have to either multiply or divide. I have my rule is that for every 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So I have to multiply this by 3. So I have 8 times 3. This gives me 24 feet. So the answer to number 3 is equal to 24. Let's go to the next one. Where am I at? Number 5. Number 5, I want to go ahead and I have 36 feet and convert that to yards. You may already know this off the top of your head. But I'm going to go ahead and do the input-output table. I have to either multiply or divide. I know that for every 3 feet is equal to 1 yard. So I had to divide that by itself. I have 36 divided by 3, and that equals to 12 yards. Because 12 times 3 equals 36. Okay. All right, and I'm going to place that on number 5, and that equals to 12 yards. Let's go to number 7, and number 7 reads 15 feet equals how many inches? Do my rule again, my input-output table. If I have 1 foot, I know that 1 foot has 12 inches. I need to multiply that by 12. My rule is either going to multiply or divide. I have 15 feet. So 15 times 12. Kind of do this right over here. That's 10. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. Oops, 8 and 1, 180. That'll equal to 180 inches. And then number 9, let me go ahead and turn my page. I'll move this back up here. I have so many feet equals 7 miles. Okay, well, I have to look at my chart. Feet's here, so I need to convert from yards and then yards and miles. So I have miles. So I needed to see if I have miles, my rule, and then I have to convert that to yards first. Okay, I can't jump. Let's go step by step. So for every 1 mile, it's going to be 1,760 yards. So now I have to multiply. So for 7 times 1,760. So I'm going to multiply that out. 1,760 times 7. 7 times 0 equals 0. 7 times 6 equals 42. Regroup my 4. 7 times 7 is 49. 50, 51, 52, 53. 7 times 1 equals 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that equals to 12,320 yards. I need to take those yards and convert them into feet now. Okay, so you see how we do that. So now I'm going to move it over here. I have yards, my rule, and feet. I can either multiply or divide, right? Those are the only 2 operations I will be using in conversions. So for every 1 yard, it equals 3 feet. And I got that information from here. I'm always going to write my rule down first. So do you see that right here? For every 1 yard equals 3 feet. So write down my rule. Now I'm going to write down the information I have. I ended up getting 12,320. Now, how did I get from 1 to 3? I had to multiply that by 3. Okay, so now I have to multiply that. So I have 12,320. I'll put that right here. Times 3. 3 times 0 equals 0. 3 times 2 equals 6. 3 times 3 equals 9. 3 times 2 equals 6. 3 times 1 equals 3. And so it equals to 36,960 feet. Okay, and that's your answer for numbers 9. Okay. All right, let's go over to this next one, 11. I have 4 yards, so we're going to use the inequality symbols or equal signs. So 4 yards and 13 feet, we're going to be comparing. We can convert. So let me just go ahead. And so here I can either convert yards to feet or feet to yards. And I know that there's 3 feet for every yard. So I'm just going to go ahead and convert the feet to yards. So I know, so I'm trying to work that out. Okay, so let's go ahead and do feet, my rule, to yards. Okay, well, if I have 1 foot, oops, it's 3 feet for every 1 yard. Okay, and that was, so if you're like, wait, what happened? Don't forget, you got to look at this, and this is the one that we're using. So for every 1 foot, for every 1 yard equals 3 feet, and this is where we're at right there. Okay. And then I also, for every 3 feet equals 1 yard. So for every 3 feet equals 1 yard, we're either going to multiply or we divide. Here I will divide itself. If I have 13, 13 divided by 3 equals 4. And what's left over? 1. So it's going to be 4 yards and 1 foot. I'm going to put that up here. So which one is greater? It's going to go that way. All right, let's look at number 13. So all you have to do is you have to make sure that you're matching apples to apples. Okay, so whichever unit of measure you choose to convert, you need to convert those. All right, so let's look at number 13. I'm just going to glance over, and I see that it is, I can't even see, 90 feet and 32 yards. Excuse me. I'm going to stick with my feet to yards. Okay. I know that it's for every 3 feet, it's 1 yard. I had to divide that. I already had that there. So if I have 90 divided by 3, that gives me what? Yeah, 30. So here, this is going to be 30 yards. See, I'm comparing yards to yards. There's no way I can compare feet to yards. So I have to compare that, the same unit of measure together. And I know that 30 times 3 is equal to 90. So 90 is less than 32 yards. 90 feet, which is equivalent to 30 yards, is less than 32 yards. Number 15, I have 5 yards and 2 feet. And I'm looking at the 200 inches. All right, so now I have to convert, right? So let me just go to the inches and move that up to yards. It can go either way. If I want to take the yards to inches, I can do that too. So it doesn't make any difference. If you want to do the yards to inches, we can do that. Yards, I have to go yards to feet first. So I know that for every 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So we'll just do this one then. So I'm going to go yards, the rule, to feet. So for every 1 yard, it's 3 feet. I have 5 yards times 3 is the rule. So that makes it 15 feet. And there's 2 feet here. That's 17 feet. Now I'm going for, excuse me, for every 1 foot is 12 inches. So now I'm going to convert feet to inches. So I've multiplied. It's either multiply or divide. Remember, those are the only two. So here I have 17 feet. Multiply that by 12. I'm going to go ahead and do it up here. 7 times 2 is equal to 14. Regroup. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Cross out my ones. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 1 is 1. That's 10. 204. So this side will be 204 inches, which would be greater than 200 inches. So it's much easier when you just put those right above like that. Makes it easier to find and to not get your symbols confused. So looking over here, 11, that's going to be the less symbol because I said it was 4 feet. And yep, yards. We have 4 yards, 1 foot, not foot. And then 13, we converted this to 30 yards. And that's less than. And then for 15, oh, I didn't put that on that last one. It's okay. It was 204 inches. And the greater. Okay. So as long as you show your work, that way you can easily go back and check. And move over to a new sheet. Almost done. The length of the Beecher family's driveway is 20 yards. The length of the SUV is 1/4 the length of the driveway. How many feet is the USV? Okay, so on number 17, we have to look that the driveway is 20 yards and that the length of their SUV is 1/4 the length of the driveway. Okay, so I'm going to take my 20 yards and I'm going to multiply that by 1/4 of that. So I'm going to put my 20 over 1. With multiplication, I'm moving straight across. 20 times 1 equals 20. 1 times 4 equals 4. Remember we said that this is a dividing bar as well as a fraction bar, so we can read it as 20 divided by 4, or 4 goes into 20. So the SUV is going to be 5 yards. All right, I need to convert yards to feet. Because this is 1/4 of 20 is at 5 yards. So if I know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet, and my rule is to multiply by 3, and if I have 5 yards, I multiply by that 3, then it's going to be 15 feet long. And so my answer is equal to 15 feet. Okay. Number 19. Hold on. Okay. All right. So Nadia runs 8 miles each weekend. How many yards does Nadia run each weekend? So she has 8 miles is equal to how many yards? So I need to convert. So I'm going miles, my rule, to yards. Always do this setup, right? This is multiply or divide. So for every 1 mile, it's 1,760. And I'm looking on my sheet, and that's what it reads. If I had 8 miles, I'm going to go ahead and multiply that out. 8 times 0 equals 0. 8 times 6 is 48. Regroup my 4. 8 times 7 is 56. 57, 58, 59, 60. 6 times 8 is 8. Plus 6 is 14. 14,080. So that's how many yards she ran. And so the answer is A. Let's look at this one here. The height of the U.S. Oh, she can't even read that. The height of the U.S. Capitol building from ground to the top of the Statue of Freedom is 96 yards. The height of the Texas State Capitol building is greater than the U.S. Capitol. What could be the height of the Texas State Capitol? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to flip my paper over. So we know the height of the U.S. Capitol building from the ground to the top of the Statue of Freedom is 96 yards. The length of the state capitol building is greater than the U.S. Capitol. So what could be the height? All right, so now they convert it. We have feet, inches, and inches. So I'm going to convert yards, my rule, to feet first. I know for every yard is equal to 3 feet. How did I get that? Multiplied it. So I have 96 times 3. And I'm going to move over here. 6 times 3 is 18, 27, 28. So it makes it 288 feet. So 96 yards equals 288 feet. So I need to find something greater than that. I wanted to convert that to inches. So now I'm going to go from feet. My rule is inches. For every 1 foot, it's 12 inches. Multiply that by 12. 288 times 12. 2 times 8 equals 16. Regroup. 2 times 8 is 16 plus 1 equals 17. Regroup. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 equals 5. I'm done with my ones. 1 times 8 equals 8. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 2 is 2. 6, that's 15. 8 plus 5 plus 1, that's 14. 5, 6, so I have 14, 2, 3. So for inches, it will be 3,456 inches. So let me look at my answer choices. I need to have it where it's greater. Well, I know it can't be the 288. That doesn't look very clear right there. So this is not going to work. And I know that it was 3456. Well, it's got to be greater. So this won't work. And this won't work because it has to be bigger. So the only answer is A, 310. And that is greater than 288. And let's look at the last one, number 23. Calvin fishes from a dock that is 85 inches long. What is the following of equal to, what's equal to 85 inches? So we did yards and feet and inches. So let's take a look. So I want to convert inches to feet first. So I'm going to go inches. My rule is to feet. I know for every 12 inches is 1 foot, so I divided it by 12. I have 85. I'll do it this way. 12 goes into 85. Let's see, we said 72, so it would be 7. Would it be 8? Be too big, right? So I think it's 7. 7 times 2 equals 14, be 84. So I'm left with 1. So here, this is divided by 12. It'll be 7 feet and 1 inch. And my answer choices is with yards. So I need to convert now feet to yards. Well, the 1 inch I can't do anything about. It's going to stay as is. But I have my 7 feet here. I know for every 1 foot, for every 3 feet, it equals to 1 yard. And remember, I got that off of my sheet. I'm just kind of memorizing it, and I forget to show you. For every 3 feet is equal to 1 yard. So you see that for every 3 feet equals 1 yard. It's right there. I divided it by 3. Well, here I had 7 feet divided by 3. 3 goes into 7 2 times. So it's going to be 6 yards. I have 1 foot left over and 1 inch. So 2 yards, 1 foot, and then my 1 inch from right here, because this was inches. And then the answer would be 2 yards, 1 foot, 1 inch. The answer is B here. Okay, 2 feet, 2 yards, 1 foot, 1 inch. 2 yards, 1 foot, 1 inch. All right, there you go. I hope that better understands what we're doing, and then we'll move over to volume and capacity tomorrow. Take care.